Once again, welcome to my workshop. Today we're going to do a wood turning, a big wood turning job. I have a tree trunk that's approximately that long, and it's the same in round. I'm going to mount the whole thing into the lathe. I have a request from a member of the family that wants a table lamp, but they want a sort of rounded ball type table lamp that's tasteful and sort of Art Décor. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, I suppose the value of this piece of wood is about $5. It's fun, you know, it would have been firewood. We can probably turn this into in excess of $150, probably $180 if it was put, the finished item was put into a showroom somewhere to be sold. Incidentally, the wood that we're using is Tasmanian oak. So let's get on. So yes, this is Tasmanian oak. It's about as much as I can comfortably manage to lift. It's got an interesting, I suppose, knoll, I suppose you'd call this here, which I'll be machining this, but I think it will produce some interesting figure behind this. Other than that, it's a plain old bit of Tasmanian oak that's, oh look, 250 years old, something like that. I'll show you the grain pattern when I get it on the lathe. So the first job I do, and when I'm working with something as big as this and as heavy as this, I don't tend to support it between centers, because in the past I have had some mishaps, and I know a lot of wood turners have, with it sort of coming out or coming loose. So to prevent all that, I securely bolt my very sturdy faceplate onto one end and support it with the other end with the live center. So that's what we're going to do now. I'll mark this out and very securely bolt this on with sort of bolt screws. So that's what we'll do now. So you see what I just did? I got a block of wood on the bed that takes the whole piece of work up to close to the thread. Now then, with this Pacific tooling wood lathe, and there's a handle here on the back that we provided so you can turn the shaft to wind the thread into the faceplate or the chuck. Whatever you do, do not switch the lathe on and let the motor wind the shaft into the chuck or the faceplate. That's a real do not do. Okay, so you just line it up like this. This might be a little bit too high. It started quite well on there now. Slide the block back a bit. going onto the thread really well. Take a bit of time and wind it on. Okay, it's all the way there now. Now you can take that away. Went out of balance a little bit, but so the next thing to do now, once you've wound the shaft thread all the way in, it's come up to the stop and it's firm, you get the Allen key, which is provided in the toolkit, and just lock up the 3 grub screws on the back of the faceplate. Okay, so it's a little out of balance, so you can see that it's got a lock one end there. So that's another reason why I use the tailstock and the lathe center to come up and support this end. And we're only going to be able to rotate this approximately 100 RPM, maybe 150. Possibly, but we've got a lot of work to do to get this machine roughly down and then shape it to the shape that we require to create our lamp base. So I've got my piece of work now bolted onto the faceplate very securely. I brought my tailstock up and I've set my tool rest where the highest point is about 1/4 of an inch away from the rest. And always rotate your piece of material to make sure nothing's touching anywhere, nothing's hitting. Now, there's several different tools that you can use to start your machining process off. You can either use a roughing gouge. I sometimes use a roughing gouge to try and get all the bark off real quickly. Sometimes you can use a spindle gouge, although I find this a little bit too small. But what I tend to use more than anything actually is my bowl gouge, because it's that much bigger to hang on to, and it's the blade or the sharp, the cutting area here is big enough to do some serious damage, you know, to get rid of material really quickly, and it's a very controllable tool. Now, I don't think there's any particular right tool to do a particular job. I see a lot of so-called professional wood turners telling me, oh, you're using the wrong tool, or you're using it the wrong angle. Now, I find with many different types of trades then, provided you're not using a tool dangerously to cause you or anybody else harm, you use a tool which suits you and your purpose. Now, only you can determine that. So, like I say, I use my bowl gouge for a lot of turning operations that normally in the profession is not regarded as the correct tool to use. Like I say, and someone told me many years ago, you use any tool in your arsenal to get the job done. And in the real world, that is the correct way. Okay, so we'll start turning this now. I'll put my face shield on. Always, you know, wear the protective gear, wear your safety glasses and a face shield. Now I'm going to be rotating this. I'm going to be setting it up between 100 and 150 RPM. Because it's such a big lump and it's a little bit off balance, you know, I don't want to throw the lathe around and have it walking across the workshop. So so we're going to limit it to between 100 and 150 RPM. It's going to take some time, so I'll video some of the roughing process, you know, sort of getting it sort of to a roundish state, but I'm not going to bore you too much. So here we go. Okay, I've just set it at 180 RPM now. The lathe seems to be quite steady with that, so we'll continue. Okay, I've sort of machined now virtually round, all bar a small flat spot here, all the way up as far as here. I'm out on the end of the tool rest here. I really don't like machining so close to the end of the tool rest here, because it can slip off. Plus I've got about an inch now between here, and I need to move in further. So what I'm going to do, actually, while I've got the tool rest in this position, because the foot of the tool rest here can't actually go under the wood. So what I'm going to do is rotate this around like this, making sure that it's about 3/8 of an inch clearance there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to face this off and take a bit of this down, so I can just move the tool rest up this way a bit to get more of the center area here. Then I'm going to turn the whole piece around and do the same with this end. So then I have a nice clean cylinder to work with. Then I can start rounding it round. In fact, I might start rounding this round already. Okay, so now I've machined sufficient away from here now, and look at the beautiful figure in that. This is what I was after. I want to keep as much of this in here as I can, because this that makes the actual object interesting rather than just plain wood. Some figure in it like that really fetches out, I suppose, the story in the wood. So I've machined now back as far as I need to, so I can get the foot or the rest of the tool rest underneath, so I can machine some of the center away. Now I think that's about okay there. And I got this knotty bit here that I want to keep it quite a bit in, so I can't come any closer than that. Just lock it up there, nice and firm. I'll machine a bit of this away and then I'll turn the tool rest around. That's looking. I've turned it round now, and as in I've turned it around in the lathe, as well as round on this back side. And I'm rather pleased how it's turning out. The figure in this wood, especially with this knotted area here, beautiful. So now I'm pretty well going to do the same sort of shape at the top here, maybe more acute to come into a bit of a neck here, so I can fix a globe fitting on the top here, but I'm going to have to drill all the way through the centre too, which is, you know, no big deal. So I think I'll round this a bit tighter, then do a concave to a bit of a neck area. I think that'll look quite nice. The lathe is set at 320 RPM now. I don't know whether you can see that. You really don't want it any quicker than that until you get it sort of rounded and balanced, because this end is still out of balance quite a bit. Using the roughing gauge here, and I've got it turned over at I suppose 90 degrees to where it normally is, like that. So I'm using the flatter part here of the gouge to remove the material. So in other words, I'm using a larger area, surface area of the cutter to remove material very quickly. You've noticed with this Pacific tooling lathe, it's a large diameter, very large diameter, and you know, it's no problem for the motor to actually turn this, because it's a 1.5 horsepower motor, and moreover than that, it's a high torque motor. So, you know, there's no problem with the motor stalling out when you've got a big piece of material. You can really get into it and remove material very quickly. Pacific tooling lathe is that you can switch it to reverse. It'll run in reverse. So why I use that is I like to use on a big item like this, flat item, is a belt sander to really get it down smooth quickly. And because this runs in a clockwise direction, you want this moving in an anti-clockwise direction. So here we go. turned out really, really nice, and there's some beautiful figure in that wood, which, you know, really brings out the wood itself. I really like that, and the person I've made it for is really happy with it. I sent him a photograph of it and he's really happy. So there's another wood turning project done, and another one of the things that you can actually do on a wood lathe. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and if you have, please press like, subscribe to my channel. That's a really good thing to do. There's a little red box there in that corner if you're looking on a computer, or if you're looking on a TV. You press on that, that will take you to my YouTube channel, where there's now nearly 190 videos ranging from wood turning. I make furniture as well.
Click on Update All to get the latest drivers.
Thank you for that. I also do a lot of work with CNC routers and the programs associated with CNC machines, such as ArtCAM, Mark III and NC Studio. So all in all, I think there's something on this YouTube station for everyone. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you pop in again and see me again. So for now, it's bye for now.